The Mike and Tony Show is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
It's a sad day, Pierce. Lost episode number 4.
Mike and Tony face the music.
Yeah. Yeah, Pierce, I have to flee the country. I'm going to leave the country.
You're fleeing the Philippines or something that you did.
Yeah, it's pretty serious. I haven't told anybody yet, so we're going to release it right here on the podcast. Should I go into details? Nah.
Just leave it as a mystery. Tony did something wrong in the Philippines, and now he has to come back. They're sending him away.
Yeah, so I will see you next week.
Yes,
I will be back.
Yes, sir.
Back next week. So, no, Pierce, it's been a great week this week. I feel like I'm finally coming to the end, getting ready for summer. In the past.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to the Philippines, which is about to happen. Listeners,
it is happening.
What the fuck are they talking about?
It is happening right now.
Yeah, right now. If you're hearing my voice right now, I am in the Philippines. So, no, it's just good to be winding down though in real time where we are with this podcast. Like being at the end of the school year. I have 3 days this week, buddy. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
There you go.
Then I'm finally done. Students have been out of the building, so it's like really chill.
Ghost town. Saw the lockers. You posted there.
Oh yeah. It's so weird. Isn't it creepy?
Town. Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
Like an abandoned school.
Yeah. And the last day of school, nobody comes. Like
yeah.
I don't even know what our attendance was the last day of school. It was ridiculous. We actually did really good on attendance this year.
Okay.
So we stood out. We had.
I feel like I went to school like all the time, dude. Even on the last day of school.
Dude, I was listening to was it NPR? Or maybe it was that podcast, The Daily, that was saying it's a national problem. And it's been kind of getting worse. Like that's been the trend.
Uh-huh.
But after COVID, tremendously worse. Like way worse. It's become like school's optional for so many kids and the reason was what the podcast was breaking down is it's across class, social classes, across ethnicity, across neighborhoods, across everything. Yeah. It's like
it's universal.
Yeah. So since COVID, kids just like parents too. I think that's where it's at. Is parents don't take it as serious when they realize that they could not be in school for all that time.
Yeah,
something clicked for everybody, or something snapped for everybody, where it was like,
you're like, the grades are in. Yeah. They don't have to go to school no more.
Yeah, like when they saw that we could sort of operate, they was just like, well, do they really have to be there? Like, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? They'll be in. Very weird. I don't think anybody knows the exact cause of it.
Yeah, no, but I remember going to school all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, you just didn't miss school, right?
Yeah.
You probably got perfect attendance.
Yeah, I got perfect attendance.
We give that award out.
Yeah.
Mike Pierce.
Yes, perfect. Because my mom, dude, you were sick. It was like, nah, you're all right. Go to school. Nah, you're all right. Go to school.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, dude. I remember there's, a couple of times in particular I was actually like sick, had the flu.
Oh,
and
no.
I got to stay home. And that's the best part, right? You get to stay home and watch Price is Right.
Yeah.
Hang out on the couch and watch TV.
Yeah.
So, but my mom was like, took away video game controllers. You couldn't like play video games when she was at work.
She knew what she was doing.
Oh yeah. So, yeah. Price is Right though. You'd watch Price is Right all the time.
I just saw something where what's his name? From Wheel of Fortune. What's that guy's name?
Pat Sajak. Yeah. He's retiring.
He's retiring.
Yep.
Is the show going on or no?
Yeah. So I think his daughter's taking over.
Oh, okay.
So
his daughter's going to be the new host or whatever. Yeah. What's up with Vanna? She's
a vampire. Vanna is a vampire. She looks the same all the time.
Yeah. So she's just going to keep on working?
No, I think she's done too.
She's done too.
Okay. Understand.
I feel like she would have to retire with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
the longest running like duo, man. Like the longest running show, right? I think. With the same host, because obviously Jeopardy's still going, but that's
with some of the funniest viral online clips of people saying ridiculous guesses.
I think there was one like this last week that I watched or something like that. It was like I forgot, or right in the butt, because he said something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure, buddy. I'm sure that's what they had up there on national television for everybody. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. What was your so I'm assuming Price is Right was always your favorite game show?
Yeah, it was my go-to. Yeah.
You ever like Jeopardy or anything like that?
Yeah, I like Jeopardy. I mean, now I like Jeopardy, as an adult. And like
When you're a
every
kid,
day.
you can't get anything.
Yeah. Every day, like the Alexa has like Jeopardy. It has an app. And so it'll give you like the questions of the day.
Okay.
And then Final Jeopardy. So you get like 3 questions and you get like Final Jeopardy. And so I always test it out.
Does it make you answer in the form of a question?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I always do it because we play Jeopardy at school sometimes.
Yeah.
I find, I'll do it for a unit or whatever. And I always make sure that the students have to answer in the form of a question.
So,
for sure.
yeah, I like Jeopardy. But yeah, growing up, it was Price is Right. And I always wanted to be on Price is Right, with Bob Barker and everything like that. And I like Drew Carey, but, I wanted to be on the show with Bob Barker, and that is no longer an option. So
I have so few memories of my grandmother on my dad's side.
Yeah.
But like I've shared a few before. Like she was the one who always made the sandwiches with like rainbow white bread, Miracle Whip, bologna.
Yeah.
And I think that was it. Maybe a slice of American cheese was on it or something
classic
like that.
sandwich, yeah.
Yeah, classic sandwich. The other thing I always remember, her house always was super clean. She was like really into cleaning, and her house smelled like Pine Sol.
Okay.
It was that maybe back in the day, that was the thing.
Sanitary.
Probably we were all getting cancer and shit. But
sanitary.
yeah, but it smelled really clean. But that's another memory I always associate. She always watched The Price is Right.
Yeah.
I remember that. I can hear the song in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite games on there was the yodeler game. I always liked the yodeler. Like that's the one like they had to guess the price, and you like would go up and go up and go up, and like you would have to stop at the top of the mountain and you win, or otherwise you'd like fall off.
Oh, you watch it, and then if it goes too high, it starts.
Yeah, you're guessing like the prices and stuff.
Okay.
And it's like the song that's playing is like yodeling. This guy's just going up.
Guess I was never.
Plinko. Plinko is also one of the best ones. That's when you put the little thing that's like ding 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 ding. It goes all the way down.
You watched way more than me.
Yeah, Plinko. Bob Barker was awesome at the putting game. Like he can make it from like any distance, but he was an avid golfer.
When did he pass away? Did he?
I think he's alive.
Bob Barker?
Yeah.
Oh, was that in the? Maybe I'm thinking of in that. What movie was that? Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, it's Billy Madison.
Was there a joke about him being dead or something? Or maybe I'm just
no.
He's just old. He's got to be pretty old right now. How old is
he? Oh, no, he did die last year. Sorry. You're right.
Yeah, I thought it was recent.
August 26th, yeah.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah.
Thank God. It's the worst when you talk about somebody like they're dead and they're still alive.
Yeah.
That's
man. He was 99. Dang, he missed it barely.
Damn, bro.
Barely missed it, bro. He barely missed it by December. He would have been 100 in December.
In December, he would have made 100. Wow. Yeah, it's funny. When people are old like that, they don't really mention the cause of death usually. Nobody ever even asks. When you're 99 and you pass away, people aren't like, oh no, what happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's 99. Pretty good. I hope I make it to 99.
August 26th, 2023, died in his home in Los Angeles at the age of 99, following several years of Alzheimer's disease, a condition that Burnett and Baker's publicly led, and the publicity's team had kept hidden from the public. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, obviously.
That's one of my worst fears, dude. Is
forgetting shit.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Just Alzheimer's in general, which is why, remember, because my blood sugar stuff was kind of up. Because they call that diabetes type 3. A lot of people are actually calling it that now.
Okay.
It's closely related, and they know that, like, eating a lot of processed carbohydrates throughout your life and having blood sugar issues is, like, indicative of developing Alzheimer's. You're more likely or whatever. Yeah, that's one of my biggest fears. It's just being confused, Like when I watch Biden and stuff like that, I just feel bad for the dude because it would be terrible enough to just be like, for me, the biggest fear is forgetting like your own family.
Yeah.
Like looking into your wife's eyes and not realizing it's your wife. Like,
yeah.
And what that's like for them.
Well, that's the other thing. Like that's, when you're talking about like taking care of family and stuff like that, right? As they get older, like, do you want your kids to take care of you when you don't fucking remember them? Like I don't want I don't want Callie to be like, take me in, and then like every day I'm like, who are you?
Yeah,
and just like make her more sad or anything like that. Just like put me a fucking home.
You do see those clips.
Visit me here and there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna remember.
I know. That's the other thing too. Is maybe it doesn't suck that bad.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I think it does because there's a lot of stories of people who develop Alzheimer's getting super frustrated.
Yeah.
And like angry and confused and just like, what the fuck was going on or whatever. The brain is like such a sensitive thing. You know what I mean? It's so intricate.
Well, the 23andMe has the thing for the Alzheimer's, one of the genes that they check for.
Yeah, no, I don't have.
Yeah, neither do
I don't
I.
have it.
Yeah.
You know who has it? Who went public and was talking about it was Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
do you remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do.
He like
remember seeing
took
that.
time off of work and stuff. He
Yeah.
was like, he wanted to reflect on it and just kind of think like, damn, what does this mean? But I mean, what are the odds of that, dude? Because if it is, I don't know. I guess we don't know enough about it. But like, if it's associated with diabetes and all that shit,
Yeah.
motherfucker's had a 6-pack his whole life.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna be fine. Yeah. So, so this week you had I don't know if you want to talk about it on the podcast your
What?
interview.
Oh, yeah. No.
No, probably not.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Especially, I'll just bleep that out completely. We'll take that little segment and just chop it right out. What were we talking about though? Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about today was Billy Carson.
Yeah.
I've brought him up a few times on the podcast now, and I have like thought about, like I want to bring it up all the time, but I feel like sometimes I'm like, am I in this weird place where I'm listening to really odd podcasts? Because the podcasts I'm listening to are talking about crazy shit, and but some of them are mainstream podcasts that I listen to.
Yeah.
Several. And what's really weird is like, if you don't know who Billy Carson is, do yourself a favor and Google this guy. He has really crazy stories, and most of it's based around like aliens and other dimensions and like alternative histories to humankind. And see, as soon as you start talking, there's people right now who just turn the podcast off.
Yeah.
They can be like, okay, they're going to go down this conspiracy theory lane or whatever. But the stuff makes so much sense. And you haven't listened to much of this yet. Is that right?
Yeah. Not much of it. Yeah.
Okay. So he talks about, for listeners, it's the Anunnaki. It's this idea that the Anunnaki was like this other race of humans. And first of all, behind all of him talking is like this idea that this is what happens. It goes against what traditional science and everybody says about how universes and how solar systems develop and all this kind of stuff. But the idea is that just like a plant flowers, planets people, right? They develop. There's these hominids that typically develop and get to a high level of consciousness, and it's happening throughout the universe. And then it kind of actually tied in with one of Terrence Howard's theories, which is that he talks about how planets are born out of the sun, essentially, and that every cycle, that part of this, peopling thing that happens with planets, they get into the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah.
Because what we don't realize is in the bigger picture, our orbit with Earth, we're slowly moving further away from the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every single planet is. And so the idea is that planets are born out of the sun, and then they slowly move further away until they get into this Goldilocks zone where they can develop life. They develop life, and then almost always, he didn't specify that it's always hominids, but it's very commonly hominids. Like some of these, like the Anunnaki and these other things that live throughout the universe, they're bipedal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They face forward, they've got 2 arms, 2 legs, that kind of thing. But the idea is that this happens regularly, and that there's this planet called Nibiru, which is much further out, and it actually, it's so funny, like, all these things he talks about, you're like, oh, that's crazy. There's no way you can verify that. And then you get on, you Google shit, and you're like, oh, there is. There's like, it's known that, by the way, there's another planet that we don't really see. I can't remember if that was Nibiru. No, that wasn't Nibiru, but it's got a name. And there's this like other planet that's in our solar system that nobody ever talks about. But if you Google it, you can find it. And it's like really hard to see. It's impossible to see with the naked eye. But I'm getting off on a tangent.
Does a James Webb telescope able to get to it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm getting a little off topic because it's just so much at once. But I just want to open up the conversation because I think people need to start talking about this stuff with an open mind. It's not like you have to believe it, right? But you got to think about how much of it makes sense. And this is all tied into like Egyptian society. And like how did they build the pyramids, right? We don't even know. That came up last night, talking about Cali. We're like, how the hell did they build the pyramids when every single stone is a different shape? They're massive.
Yeah.
They're not found anywhere near that area, right? And there's people always arguing about how this happened. And then there's people arguing about when it happened. And so it's this idea, we've heard other people, Randall Carlson, these other people that have talked about this idea that we had a previous peak in human society here on Earth.
Yeah.
That we had like massive, civilizations with super advanced technology, which goes along with things. And the idea is the Anunnaki came from this other planet because their planet was in deep shit. It was like they had messed up the environment. By the way, that is one really sad thing about this whole thing is like the idea is like if you go throughout the universe, there's societies and civilizations that are billions and billions and billions and billions of years older than us.
Yeah.
So who can even imagine like where we are? But what's really sad about the whole thing is all this still involves fucking war and murder and taking advantage of people. And you're just like, after billions of years of evolution, we couldn't figure out to be nice to each other.
No.
Or not fuck up the environment, which is what the Anunnaki supposedly did with Nibiru. They fucked up the environment and they had a brilliant idea. The only thing that they could fix it with is gold.
Yeah.
And so gold is, as we've talked about, is a very unique metal. Like you can take a very small amount of it and you could just like coat this entire room. You could coat the entire wall if you had the proper way. You could like, it just never stops being able to get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. So the idea was that the Anunnaki needed it for their planet so they could suspend it in the atmosphere.
Okay.
And it would reflect the sun's light and it would help fix. They had some kind of problem with the, sort of like where we're headed a little bit. So they knew that there was this other planet, Earth, that was near the sun. And so they went there. And then the story goes, and by the way, bits and pieces of all of these stories are in the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita. Like it's throughout all of our spiritual texts and religious texts throughout human history. You can find these stories in different versions, and including the Bible, which everybody talks about. You don't realize how much the Bible came from other things too. So they come to Earth, and then they actually there was another race of beings. It was also a very old race that they had battled with. I don't know. I think it was on their planet. They ended up winning. And they sort of enslaved them.
Okay.
And so they brought them to Earth to mine gold. And then after a very long time of this happening, rebellion happened.
Yeah.
And they fought, and then the rebellion got squashed. And then they rebelled again. And this time it resulted in them having a conversation about, they noticed there was hominids. And so there's speculation about what hominid it was, Homo erectus.
Yeah.
So it's one of our old ancestors. And they said, well, what if we took this and we used them as the work.
Yeah.
And so then the idea was they altered our DNA, which there's evidence of this when you look at the structure of our DNA and how it's different from like apes and things like that. Plus, the stoned ape theory. There's all these questions about how we got so smart so fast, the brain developed, all this kind of stuff. So long story short, they basically infused their DNA with humans, basically breeded us and changed our DNA in a way to be exactly what they needed us to do, which was like to mine gold,
Workers.
to think of them as God, right? Which is very weird, which I also found out another really weird fact in the process. This is a little bit of a tangent, but the Bible, I noticed there was one verse I was reading in Genesis, and it's like the very first beginning of the Bible, and I think it was like when it was light was first. I can't remember the order. It was like the third day, but it didn't say it. God said, "Let us create our." Whatever it was.
Okay.
And I noticed the us and the our. So I started digging into this. Turns out the original Aramaic translations of the Bible, there's been a mistranslation in all modern texts with this. And the idea is that it is God's. Not God. It's been plural. We just translated it right. And now we have this idea. The whole thing leaves me just fucking baffled and confused. But the idea was that that's where humans came from and that they literally put into our DNA this affection
Splice,
for gold.
Okay.
So that because it does make sense, right? Gold's weird.
Yeah.
I've never been a gold fan. I'm not really into gold.
Yeah. Same. I have one chain that I wear.
But it's weird. Our currency's always been based on it.
Yeah. The price of gold. The price of gold is at this.
Yeah.
This is the gold.
Yeah, but it raises so many questions about because if you think about the possibilities of so many other societies being billions and billions and billions of years more advanced than us, it just kind of like blows your mind about what do we know?
We're still mining gold to this day.
I know.
Still mining gold.
Yeah. Right.
They have shows about it now on TV.
Yeah. So, but that's the idea. It was all tied in. It was related to Egypt and the pyramids.
Well, this year they found another planet. Another super Earth, I remember them saying. It's like 1.5 times or something like that of what is it? Of Earth. It's like 137, 1.5 times as wide as Earth. So it's a smaller one, but it's like 137 billion light years away. No, 137 light years away. So it was, this one says it was called the TOI 715b. And they just
Is it in our galaxy?
No, it's in another one. It's another solar system.
Well, no, because ours, like, I mean, because there's the Milky Way galaxy, and then within that, there's all the star clusters, including our solar system. Because that's
it's in a different one. It's in a different solar system.
Oh,
Galaxy, yeah.
Yeah, he talks about the Pleiades too. That the idea is that we think that we're not actually, that humans are not actually from the Milky Way galaxy. That there was a combination where the galaxies hit each other, and it was the Pleiades hit. Well, yeah, Pleiades was like a star from another. I don't know, bro. I don't know. At this point, I don't remember. This dude had a crazy memory. He was doing everything from memory the whole time.
Well, I think that's another thing too. That somebody else. I think was it Neil deGrasse Tyson that said this, that the idea of Earth, what happened with us, and while they're called Martians, is that a long time ago, like a meteoroid or an asteroid hit Mars, and bacteria from Mars, debris came flying through.
What is that called? There's a theory.
And then landed on Earth, and then just the perfect environment for the bacteria to grow.
Right.
That's where life started, with that form of bacteria, and then from there, just evolution.
Dude, with all these crazy podcasts I've been listening to, and all this different weird stuff that we're hearing, I guarantee you, there's probably people listening that are just gonna be like, "Yeah, Tony's lost it," right? Right, and I'm okay with that because I just spend a lot of time paying attention, and where I'm left is not like, "Turns out we're from the Anunnaki." Turns out, blah blah blah. It's more like, "Fuck, I don't know anything, dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know," because you hear that, and I'm like, "That sounds reasonable."
Yeah.
The idea of it's called something spora or something like that. It's the idea of that life spreading throughout the universe in that way.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is the idea is that Mars was once in the Goldilocks zone, and that it certainly had life on it.
Yeah,
and
dried up, and
yeah. Which and we don't know for sure, but it seems most probable that they just fucked up their environment, or like I don't know if it was a they. Right, I can't say that so confidently because there's no science to back this up. But that's what the idea is that the atmosphere got totally jacked.
Yeah, the atmosphere got jacked, and then like once you're getting out there, like your ozone, your protective layer is like gone, and not solar winds, like just different winds and everything just like fucked up the environment. So who knows? At one point in time, maybe Mars did have fucking buildings all over the place.
Yeah.
It just got destroyed, and now it's like obviously it's just buried or just gone under there.
Yeah, well, and he points to so many different structures in the world. Billy Carson, still talking about this guy. It's crazy. He went on Andrew Schultz, his Flagrant podcast, which is
you were saying,
which is a comedy podcast I listen to. They usually have goofy conversations with people and stuff, and it was a really funny. It's always funny. That dude cracks me the fuck up. But he had him on there, and it was like the more you listen to him, and Andrew Schultz was funny because he's not like Rogan. He told him, he was like, "We're going balls deep. Like, I'm just telling you, we're not fact checking nothing today." That was his approach.
Yeah.
Like, we're just going to go deep. We want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. But the more he talks, like everything he says is logical. It's backed up. He points you to the science. He references everything.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, I don't know anything anymore, Pierce. I don't even know. I don't know what our life means. Just out here spinning around on this thing. Because it makes you think about the idea of the universe being totally infinite. We've talked about this before. It's a common idea, right? That's possible, but it seems more possible than ever to me. And when you say infinite, people think like, oh, it's super, super big. Yeah, and super, super small. In other words, it goes on in every dimension forever. No matter how small you get, no matter how big you get. That really changes your idea of what the universe fucking is, right? It's how far humankind has come from Newtonian physics and, gravity pulls us to the ground and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know. Does it change how you live your life as a middle school math teacher?
Nah,
probably not. No.
But now you're gonna look at your kids and think they're aliens and be like, fucking makes sense. Fucking makes sense now.
Yeah, what it does for me is it's weird. It kind of fucks with my spirituality and solidifies it at the same time.
Yeah.
Because for me, then it's like it puts all these things into question. Well, like, who exactly was Jesus? How does this whole thing go with? And if you can see that parts of the Bible were literally taken from these other spiritual texts because it came later, what does that mean? And what are these truths? And it just makes, what it makes me feel is what I felt for a long time is that most mainstream Christians just have it all twisted. I'm not trying to judge anybody. It's just like, I don't want to be part of that. Like it doesn't seem like you guys got it all wrong, like the message of Jesus and everything. And it makes me really hold on to Jesus, honestly, because I'm like, no matter what it is, I still believe everything that he taught, and I still believe like be a good person and love is the answer and all this stuff, because it's so disappointing to hear these crazy stories that if all this wacky shit is true, after billions and billions of years of evolution, we're still killing each other, enslaving each other, taking advantage, having wars, fucking up our environment. Like, dude, that makes me feel hopeless as fuck.
Yeah,
You're
well,
like,
I mean, it's just like, that's everything, right? I mean, every story that you've ever seen, every movie, right? There's not a, an area where there's peace, something comes out of it, or war or something happens, or...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just like, I mean, it's basically like what's going on with Palestine and Israel. I was telling you, I've been trying to catch up on what's been going on, and I don't want to get us canceled. I don't want to get any hate for this or anything, but it seems like Palestine has just been fucked over and bullied around for a long time. Like when you start looking, and I'm not talking about ancient history, right? Maybe there's a different argument there. I'm not too aware of all that stuff, but I do know that it seems like since like after World War II, it was like 1947. Was when the UN was like a brand new entity, and it like split it up and said here. And the way they did it, first of all, when I saw
it on one side or another, you have two countries, like one country that's on both sides.
It makes no sense. You're like, you were asking for trouble. And this is the way the takeaway for me was like in the 20th century anyway, till now into the 21st century. This was all a fumble from UN.
Yeah.
Like they fucked this up, bro. Like, because the way they set up this territory is like, especially since so many people have been displaced now and moved around and stuff, they should have just moved then.
Yeah.
And just said, hey, Palestinians over here, fucking Jewish people over. It wasn't Jewish and Palestinian. It was Jewish and Arab.
Yeah.
Right. An ethnic split between those two. But yeah, and it's all intricate and like they kind of are complicated how it gets together. But if you look at the history, it's just like Israel just has been fucking everybody up. Like they really, and I know people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but if you like, it's just history. If you just literally go step by step through what happened there, you realize that like Israel's just been uber powerful, dude. They've squashed everything. They squashed all the countries around them that tried to intervene because they were all feeling threatened. And I mean, it's wild. That was the 6-Day War or whatever, when Israel basically just took over everything. Dude, they squashed all three other countries. Like
the force field that they have over Israel is wild. It's like the anti-missile thing, basically.
I don't know much about this.
Israel and the U.S. developed. Whoa. And so it's practically a force field. So anything that comes into there, they have things that go, toof, and it'll blow up the missile.
Intercepts everything.
Yeah, it'll blow it up before it even gets close to anything like that.
Yeah, so much death and carnage, dude.
Yeah.
And then this recent thing that we're on was because Palestine fucking had that big attack on Israel, right? They did something, and it's just weird because it feels like all they do is piss off the giant. And then Israel just goes crazy, and I don't know, man. It's a complicated thing, and it is interesting though that it is in the Bible, and this is like where Israel's where Jesus was, and I think that's why people get bent out of shape. It's like you have to if you don't defend Israel, you don't believe in Jesus. That whole people say stuff like that, and it's like that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like Jesus doesn't want people killing each other and doing all this stuff.
Yeah, well, people use religion, right, in parts of war. I mean, that's what the holy wars were.
Yeah.
To spread Christianity.
I know. How ironic is it, dude? How many
believe in this God? He believes everything is good. Die though.
Conform or die.
Conform or die. Yeah.
I don't know. It is an irony, but we talked about it all the time, man. It's just people miss the message.
Yeah.
And it's really all that's really ruling is the devil, dude. It's just really our inner like desire for ego and success and money and power, and that's really what it all comes down to. Because ego is what does it, you know what I mean? Like when Palestine attacked Israel recently, they got all this shit like just nonstop coming from Israel. That's fucking ego. There's like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like this is our land. We're Israel. And what's sad is that they control everything, dude. They control their water supply, their electric, their food, their ports. They don't let them operate ports. They don't let them have an airport. Like, they don't let them fucking do nothing, which is wild. Because you hear it all the time, you know, before I really was digging into the recent history of it, you just hear this constant like, oh, are you pro-Palestine or Israel or how do you feel? And when I was looking at it, I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to like be anything, but damn, this looks pretty lopsided to me. Yeah. This looks like Palestine's been getting fucked up for a long time, bro. It's just not fair. Like, they don't. How can they not have control over their own shit?
Water?
Yeah, and it all comes back to the UN fucked it up. I really feel like they fumbled it, and they created a situation where you were going to have just chaos, and it's been chaos ever since. I don't know. It's at the center of everything, right? And then we got.
Oh yeah, it was like. Recently, when schools were in session, the college campuses, there was protests like crazy at all the college campuses.
Yeah,
so,
people feel really strong.
And so they had to like legit like lock down and send employees home. You know, like, this is getting wild. You know, like, you guys, school's done for today. Everyone's done. Lockdown, you know, and it's gone. So yeah.
Yeah, it's so nuts. We you know, I know it's crazy here in the U.S., but we are so lucky. I mean, the problem with the U.S. is we have such a variety of, like, it's not at all equal. You know what I mean? Like, we have pretty destitute poverty and like people in really dire situations within this country. So that you can't just say that, but definitely where you and I are at, like, you know, where we live and the amount of money we make and whatever living in America, life is fucking great. If you're living in Palestine, dude, families are just getting blown, like, killed, like entire family lineages just fucking wiped out, like their family line's extinct now because they just got hit, you know, blown up in some giant bomb or whatever. It's out of control. Can you imagine how different life would be? We wouldn't be doing a podcast, dude. No way. Can you imagine, like, if there was a fear of getting blown up all the time?
Oh yeah.
What would you even do? Like, if you're born in that country, that's your life.
Like a person in Syria, right? Like,
sure.
Yeah. Just every day waking up, be like, okay, make sure I don't step on a landmine today, or make sure I don't get by a mortar. You know, like.
I know, and you still have to have food. But I just think about the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, because that's where everything is controlled. Like, they don't have shit, bro. They can't control their own water, their own electricity. Like we said, no airports, no coming and going, no nothing.
Yeah.
Don't get caught going into the Israel part. Don't fuck around. And we do whatever we want. We bully you around and we do whatever the fuck we want. That's really what it looks like when you just look at what's happening. So I'm like, okay, so you're born a Palestinian in the Gaza Strip. Let's say you're born in, like, let's say you're Jaden's age, right? So you're born in like 2006. Okay? So you're 18 years old right now. What the fuck has your life looked like? What hope have you had for accomplishing your dreams or like doing something you want with your life?
Yeah.
From the time you're born, you're in this deep, deep oppression, just being murdered left and right. And every day could be your last day. I don't know, man. We are.
I was just looking at like the richest countries in the world.
Oh, interesting.
The richest country in the world is Luxembourg.
Really?
Luxembourg, this country controls the pandemic duration better than any European country. In 2020, they had a growth rate of minus 0.9. The country will grow by 7% in 2021. They say here that their GDP is the richest country because of that, because with its financial sector making up 25% of its GDP. Luxembourg is considered a tax haven, which incentivizes foreign investments and allows citizens to enjoy free education, healthcare, and transportation. I'm moving to Luxembourg, dollar.
You know, I think the problem is that societies are built over time.
Yeah.
And so systems that become ineffective don't always, it's not like you're playing a video game and you just wipe it out and you're like, okay, that system was fucked up. Let's wipe it out and put a better system. Oh, this is way better. This makes sure everybody gets what they need, blah, blah, blah. Right. Society doesn't work like that. It's over time progression. So a lot of times you're stuck with these old ass institutions. And then instead of the best solution possible being implemented, it's some solution that comes from the history of what is already established, right? You've already got this fucked up system. They start making alterations. There's too many moving parts. There's too many people. Because can you imagine if you could just wave a magic wand You could like fix the whole earth and just by changing our approach to everything, change our systems, change our approach, change it into a more positive way. And people go, oh, you can't because the powerful people. It's like, it's not just that. It's just so complicated. Human society throughout the world is wildly complicated.
Yeah.
So trying to be like, let's fix homelessness, right? Like, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. If it was a video game, it'd be super easy. You just you come up with a plan, implement it, and then there you go. Which is why, it's not popular to say, but with a dictatorship, you can get a lot of shit done, bro.
Yeah.
Which is why China's got, such an advantage. Not that they're a dictatorship, technically. Now we're really not canceled. Now I might get
Okay, so
worked.
I was just looking because I'm curious. When I was in Mexico last, we met some people that are from Luxembourg, and they have their own language. It's
Where is Luxembourg?
Luxembourgish.
Is it near Germany or something like
It's
that?
in between France, Germany, and Belgium.
Okay.
So it's like literally like a little country in the middle of them.
Gotcha.
And they were like, we speak Luxembourgish, but they also speak German and French and Belgium.
That's the thing with Europe is everybody speaks multiple languages.
Yeah, because you have countries that are around you like that.
It's a necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, here we really don't. Which is funny because we probably, I don't know, maybe is Spanish the main language yet? I feel like it doesn't it, right? Like I think that's coming. I remember reading about that a couple years ago.
Yeah. That
it's certainly in our future where Spanish is going to surpass English in popularity of like number of people who speak it here in the United States. But we don't acknowledge it at all. We're like, no, English is the language, bro.
Let's see how many Spanish speak. 42 million people speak Spanish.
In the United States?
Yeah, aged 5 or older.
42 million.
Yeah,
okay.
That was as of May 28th, 2024.
Okay.
So out of what? How many people we have here? We have 600 million?
Isn't it 8? I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's find out.
333 million.
333 million.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's other languages too. So I wonder, you should Google how many people speak English in the United States as their primary language.
So about 13% speak Spanish.
13% speak Spanish. What's the English?
How many people speak English in the United States?
Yeah. As their primary language. I'm trying to get, because the thing I read a couple years ago was predictions that Spanish is going to be more frequently spoken than English in the United States within like 10 years or something like that, it said. I don't think we're there yet, but I do think we're on our way to that.
Let's see here. English is the most common language spoken in U.S. homes with approximately 239 million speakers, as well as numerous bilingual speakers. Spanish is spoken by like 33 million people. So,
yeah,
okay.
But I just wonder because it's hard to say that.
So there's still 100 million people, ish, in the United States that don't speak English, roughly.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a third. That's a third, bro.
Yeah. I think language is so valuable. That's what, going back to all that conspiracy shit, that's what the idea was that that's what the Anunnaki did.
Yeah.
And which is referenced in the Bible as to when God split up people and made multiple languages so they couldn't collaborate and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like that part in the Bible, he's saying that was essentially the Anunnaki who did that and separated us.
Yeah. That's wild.
Which is really crazy. Yeah. But it gets into weird territory too, because he talks about like how maybe our ethnic, like our physical differences aren't always just from where we are from. And I was like, okay, well.
So the Anunnaki in English means princely offspring.
Princely offspring.
Yeah, it translates to princely offspring.
Oh,
or the offspring of An, which is prince.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I was remembering that the idea was their original people too. It was like when they started messing with our DNA, that's where the two names are really crazy. They're very similar to Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
It's like Adnan and Eva or something like that.
I need to send you this it's kind of related to this. I need to send you this post I saw on Instagram about the evolution of the alphabet and where it came from, and it shows
The
like
English alphabet?
the lines, and it shows the lines from like ancient, text all the way to how it translated to A B C D E F G H I J, all that stuff. I'll send that to you.
Ooh, please send
It's
that to me.
wild.
That sounds
Wild. Yeah.
fascinating.
So, you know what that always like trips me up whenever I hear about the Anunnaki and stuff like that? I always think of fucking Stargate. Remember that movie Stargate?
Wasn't that the boy? No.
Stargate was the one where they had the portal, and they walked through the portal, and it was like another world. It was like ancient Egypt, but they were all advanced, like aliens, and they were in like robotic headdresses that look like Egyptian gods and stuff like that.
Well, and because that's what he talks about with the Anunnaki. You ever seen those pictures of them with like the bird heads?
Yeah.
That those were actually their masks so that they could breathe on Earth.
Yeah.
Because the environment was different. Same reason, and they were really tall.
Yeah.
The idea was they're like twice our height. They're about 12 to 14 feet tall. But because they evolved on a planet with a lot less gravity, Nibiru is smaller, has a lot less mass, and so whenever there's less gravity, things would evolve to be a greater height. Where do you come down on all this? What do you think? Do you make a decision at all on like what you believe or don't believe, or you just kind of leave it open, or who cares?
Kind of leave it open. Yeah. I'm up for interpretation. Someone can sway me, No, nobody can sway me. They can give me some ideas. They give me some thoughts. I form my own opinions based on like research and stuff that I do.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. And that's everything in life. That's not just like aliens and God and religion, it's politics. That's even foods, like stuff like that. So
what's that? Above all else, be true to thyself.
Yeah.
Right. You have to know you and what you want, what you actually believe. And it is so easy to be swayed. I grew up manipulated. My brain was manipulated growing up, with Christianity and everything around me and the way it was perceived, the way I perceived it and how it was implemented. And I think that's the crazy thing is you look at all this stuff and you're just like, dude, I'm doubling down on Jesus. Like, I feel like it's a great way to live life. It is the truth, the way, and the light. And you can get in all kinds of arguments about what the details mean, but do you go to heaven after? I don't know shit, bro. I don't know anything, but I know it's right to be good to people, and I know it's good to be fair and to be selfless, and that you feel good and you feel fulfilled. I would rather on my deathbed feel like, I never made $1 million, I never was able to do things, but man, I helped people feel good. I made people's lives better. I made people smile. I spread love. I gave of myself and of my time. Then you're gonna die like a satisfied life, I think.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's all that really matters. Like, damn, all this shit's crazy. I like learning more about it, but the more I learn, the more I'm just confused. Like, man, my little pea brain can't get my head around like this universe.
I feel like when I get old and I like am on my deathbed, I want to troll life. Like I want to start like I'm gonna start making like a spaceship looking like thing. And I'm going to buy like this weird last piece like off land in like rural area and build this thing to make it look like it's a fucking spaceship or like, it's like deconstructed or broken. Yeah. And then I'm going to be in my deathbed and be like, go here if you want the truth. and just die. And then they're going to go like, oh my God. Callie's going to be like, my dad was an alien the whole time.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I don't know what to make of life, man. But at the end of the day, it's not complicated.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you think? Like, we make it so complicated. Like, who's the right religion? It's kind of like, who cares?
Yeah.
They're all saying the same thing, man.
They're all saying the same thing, and it's whatever fucking makes them feel good. Whatever makes you feel good as a person.
I think it's personal.
Yeah. It's all personal.
Because that's always been me, is like, I've never met anybody else that's in the same boat, but like, I've always had two beacons. And I've talked about it. It's always Buddha and Jesus. Like, the teachings of Buddhism and the teachings of Jesus to me are like, that's what I need. They're different, right? Because if you look at their two lives, Buddha grew up like super rich. He was a prince. He was surrounded by, excess and women and food and whatever his heart desired, right?
Yep.
And his dad was dead set on, he didn't want him to be exposed, to the dangers of the world. He wanted him to become either a king or a high military guy.
He didn't know what death was. He didn't know what desolate was.
Yeah, and so then he ran away from home. He left his wife and his kid and everything and just went out and experienced the world and saw all these things. Why are people dying? People are suffering. Like, none of this makes sense. And it fucked with him and he just couldn't resolve it. And so he just kept going and he tried everything. He went into aestheticism, right? This idea of like depriving yourself of everything and just sitting there and starving, no drinking, no eating, no. You just suffer, and that's the true experience experience of life, right? He tried that and was like, nah, the answer's not there. Then finally he sat under the Bodhi tree, meditated, went into a deep meditation for whoever knows how long, and realized that suffering was the nature of the world. And that's where he came up with, the eightfold path and the Four Noble Truths and all this stuff, right? So to me, Buddha always really appeals to my super logical side, to my thinking side, to where when I'm feeling down, I can use Buddhist concepts to make me feel better, to just realize, like, at the end of the day, I can just take a deep breath and all this stuff, right? Jesus, on the other hand, appeals to the emotional side. To me, it's like the rebellion against evil. It's like this super heated, charged, emotional being, right? That like took all of our sins by just saying, like, look, I'm just going to be nothing but love. I'm going to love everyone, and I'm going to show you what it's like to live a perfect life. And humans murdered him, and he knew that was going to happen, and did it just sort of like to free us, to like, to prove a point almost, of just like, this is what happens to love. Like, take a look like what we did. So to me, those two things balance out really good for me. Jesus really appeals to my heart and my emotions. Buddhism really appeals to my mind and my logical side. And for me, it's like a match made in heaven. And there's a great book too, by Thich Nhat Hanh, actually, who passed away a few years back. You remember him? The Vietnamese monk, really famous guy, did wonderful things for this world. His spirit will live on forever. But he did a great book called Living Buddha, Living Christ. Yeah. And he compared the lives and like really breaks it down. It's an amazing book. I recommend it to anybody who's interested. But a lot of times when I talk to my Christian friends, they don't want to talk about Buddha. They're like, that's of the devil. I've literally been told that before. Like, that's the devil because it's distracting you from the real God and Jesus and the Bible. But I don't know.
Maybe I'm Jedi, dollar.
I thought that was an established fact.
Maybe I'm Jedi because there's no hate. There's no hate. I don't have any hate.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think with Buddhism, that's the idea, is understanding yourself and how complicated your emotions are. Because that's the other thing that resonates with me about. Depends on which Buddhism you're talking about. If you're talking about Zen, they don't really comment on afterlife or anything like that.
No,
but if you get
Zen is all about being in the moment, and
absolutely, it's almost more of a philosophy than you would call it a religion. Yeah. But then like Mahayana Buddhism, like from Tibet and all that stuff, whole different thing, right? But I relate to that, the parts of that which talk about like reincarnation and that like you get multiple attempts at life and all this stuff. That just seems to resonate with me. It feels true. But again, if I tell that to my Christian friends, they don't like that, like, because they want it to be a really simple story, and to me, I'm like, life's not simple, dude. It's so complicated. There's so many beings. There's so many dimensions. It's so powerful and large, and like at the end of the day, none of it matters. Just look internally and live for love and be good to people, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's important to be a good person. Oh, I forgot to put my bracelet on this morning. I just realized I wear it every day.
Yeah.
You
got to wear it every day for the intentions of one day giving it away.
Oh, yeah. I'm not. See, this is only my first life. I'm not the wise sage you are. Not yet, but I'm working on it. I'm heading there. Yeah, I don't know, man. You look around the world so crazy, but this is what I was telling my wife this morning. It's like there's so many things to be thankful for.
Yeah,
life just is good. I feel like I'm so grateful just to have a chance to live, because you might have just never existed. And that we can't get our head around that. Yeah. Like, what if you just never existed? You'd never know any different.
Yeah.
And people make the argument like, well, it doesn't matter then because you wouldn't know. Like, sure, I guess. But I know now because I'm here. Yeah. Right? Or at least I think I'm here.
And again, being born into this life, hella lucky compared to the population of the world. So
it's like an obligation to be grateful.
Yeah.
When you're crying about little problems or whatever, you just like feel embarrassed when you have that realization. You're like, dude, I'm in one of the richest, most powerful countries in the world. Especially me, I get all the fucking, I'm white. You know what I mean? You can't deny it. There's bias in the world, and there's, especially in the U.S., there's this long history of discrimination based on your skin color, bro.
Yeah,
pretty shitty. I'm just glad I look around. I don't have a ton of white friends. I realize, but it's been great for me in my life because it helps my perspective so much more. But it's crazy how old you can get and not realize how privileged you are. You know what I mean?
Well, when we were in Wichita this week, we went out to the bar, and there was this one white guy with a group of black guys. And I was like, Fran noticed that, and I was like, you know what? I was like, that dude either, he probably grew up with them.
Mm.
He was like, his whole entire life, but I was like, I bet you right now, he has some Jordans on right now. He's like, no way. I was like, I bet you he has Jordans. He has 5s or 11s on right now.
Uh-huh.
And sure enough, he like walked around, and he went to go to the restroom, and he had Jordan 11s on.
Wow. Called it.
Yeah.
Called it. Yeah. Well, who you grow up around makes such a big difference. It's such a big influence, I think, on your life.
Yeah.
And who you identify with. Because I'm pretty open about it. Man, I've always been a little racist toward white people. Like, I don't know. You just look at the history of the world and like, man, we were real assholes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my direct ancestors are real assholes. You too. You have European descent as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like
spreading our fucking flu around in our
yeah. It's no different than the Anunnaki, bro. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is this? What if it's just part of us? What if just like aggression and evil and war is just ingrained in life?
Yeah.
That just is the nature of life, is that power will always corrupt, beings will always try to dominate other beings for their own benefit. Seems like a pretty negative.
I think that's life in general, right? People, not everyone, right? Most people need a higher power to look upon, right? They don't have all the answers.
Scaffolding.
They want somebody to, do shit for them.
Guidelines.
This and that. Yeah, like that. So, but there's not many people out there who are like, I do it for myself. I don't need anybody to fucking help me. Do it for myself.
Yeah.
But those people that rely on things like that, right?
Religion, you mean?
Religion, or just, or like someone in power, someone making decisions, stuff like that. They're just like, okay, I'll just follow
They want
this.
somebody to think
I'll just
for
follow this. Yeah, I'll just follow this. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a real problem. There's a real lack of critical thinking.
Yeah.
People don't like critical thinking. And I'm seeing it worse than ever with the younger generation since I've been teaching. It's the one thing that's stood out to me over all these years of teaching so far is that kids don't have that critical thinking skill, that ability to and I discovered it when I was first teaching writing in ELD.
Yeah.
And we have like an ACIT, and so each letter stands for a different part. It's like a short response to a question, essentially, where you cover everything and you cite evidence. And you have an assertion. It's like an assertion. You give some context, right? All this kind of stuff. But where they always struggled was they would have an assertion like, I believe this, or this is X, Y, Z. And then the part where they had to do E, evidence, from the text, they would pull out a fucking random quote every time, insert it in there, and then just follow the language frames like, and because of this, I believed it. And you're just like, there's no logic in that. Like, it's so weird how, because you have to have critical thinking, just like you were saying, right? You don't depend on other people to tell you, I depend on myself. I think about it myself. I go through it logically, and whatever makes sense to me is what it is.
Yeah.
But these kids, it's a problem.
Fucking kids.
But adults too.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's why we get what we get in this country. I think sometimes is people just, they don't want, and it's hard. People are busy as fuck, working all the time. It's hard to take time to,
that's true.
To research. Like that's a sign of my privilege right there, that I'm so balls deep in Anunnaki. You know what I mean? That's a real testament to my fucking privileged ass life, that I can spend time looking up the Anunnaki.
Meanwhile, some, fucking lady in Africa is just trying to make it down to the river to get some water dollar.
Yeah.
Worried if she's going to get eaten by a lion or a fucking alligator.
And I'm like, and so they had to suspend gold in their atmosphere.
To reflect the light.
Fucking jerk. What's your problem? Hey, Pierce, why don't we, you want to talk a little bit about those fun facts?
Yeah. So some fun facts here. Let's go. That's some pastries. This is Bruce Leroy's favorite subject.
Donuts. Yeah. It's still a classic story on the Mike and Tony show. Slapped a homeless dude in the face with a bag of donuts, and then had to go back and buy more donuts. And the funny part was that the homeless guy absolutely refused to eat them.
Yeah.
Which I would too.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, donuts on the ground.
Wouldn't. So lots of, there was other ones too, right? So it's donuts, and then what was the theme? Smiling or happy or something?
No, just donuts.
Oh, just donuts this week. Okay. Yeah. The first donuts were made by Dutch settlers in North America. These early donuts were called oleokoeks, which means oil cakes. Yeah, it kind of sums them up, right? Oil cake sounds like fucking
Yeah, they're fried.
heart disease, bro.
Yeah, they're fried up things. Piece of dough.
They were called heart disease.
Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts is like real popular in the East Coast. Like that's
Yes.
their Starbucks, basically.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They love Dunkin' out there.
Really?
And it makes sense because Dunkin' Donuts was founded in Quincy, Massachusetts in 1950. Which also makes sense on why Matt Damon and
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck did that Dunkin' Donuts because they're a bunch of Boston boys.
Right.
Massachusetts.
Interesting. I'm starting to lose my taste for Starbucks, dude.
Are you?
Yeah, because I'm getting old, Pierce. Like it's so funny with all these people I work with. Whenever they take coffee orders,
Yeah.
like yesterday they were taking coffee orders, and the things.
I'll have the triple venti extra caramel macchiato with a splash of froth and make sure it's warm and cold.
Everybody, I'm like, just give me a.
Pour it into a venti, then put it in a grande and a tall because I don't want to drink it all at once. I'll save the tall for later.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I didn't want to even be a hassle after I heard all the. So I didn't even ask for half and half. I was like, just give me a black coffee, bro. Just give me a black coffee. I'll take a fucking black coffee.
Oh my god!
Because it's good enough, it's fine. If somebody's buying your coffee, I'll take, whatever.
Yeah.
But it is. I'm losing my taste. Like all the different. There's one drink I really like. Have you ever had a? You don't go to Starbucks much. I know you like the green tea matcha. Right?
Yeah, I like the green tea matcha. Yeah.
They have what's it called? The brown sugar shaken oat milk espresso. It's a long name, but that's not a special order. That's literally what it says
I have
on the menu or
I
whatever.
don't like oat milk.
I'm not a fan. I've read bad things about oat milk too.
It's slimy.
Mm.
It's slimy to me. It like has like a weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've had oat milk yogurt. That's
Ooh,
weird too. It's
that
like,
doesn't
like a
sound good.
slimy consistency.
Yeah. Do you like almond? I like almond milk. Almond milk's pretty
Yeah.
solid.
Almond
I like the
milk's
unflavored
nice.
one.
Yeah.
You put it in.
I'm still a whole milk kind of a guy, man.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
Yeah, I like whole milk.
Yeah. No, I love it. I'm a half and half. They were making fun of me at work one day because I was walking around and I had just made a coffee. And I was like, man, if I just a little bit of half and half, a little something, take the edge off the sharpness. And walking around asking people, hey, you don't have any, because they have all kinds of shit at work. Everybody's got those little. Everyone has those little International Delight ones, those super sugary ones.
Yeah.
But I just don't like sweet in my coffee very much. I was walking around asking for it, and then our Dino was just like totally making fun of me. He's like, bro, how old are you? Half and half? Because I was like, I got one more office check. I'm gonna check Amanda's office and see if she's got some half and half in there. And he just starts laughing. I go, why are you laughing? He's like, she don't got no half and half in there, bro. How old are you? I was like,
he's like, do you need it in a metal little carafe thing?
Yeah. I was asking. I was like, do you have any Metamucil too? I could use a little. Get things moving a little bit.
I'm a little backed up over here. He just drink the coffee black then.
Yeah.
That'll get things moving, buddy.
Yeah, I do. I like the half and half in it. I try to measure it though, so you don't go crazy.
You know what I do like though at Starbucks? I also do like the Java chip Frappuccino.
Ooh, somebody I know likes that.
You like drink it. It has like the chocolate chips in it. Like you can chew and crunch. Yeah.
Wait, what's it called? Java chip Frappuccino?
Yeah. Is it Java chip? No, the cookie crumble one.
Something. But
I don't know, whatever the one that has like chips in it.
But it's a
like chocolate
Frappuccino.
chips.
It's like sweet,
it's like
icy,
the
frozen.
blended. Yeah, the blended one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing that I will drink a straw with.
Really?
By the way, yeah.
You know, it's funny. I made a choice last night. I realized that I was self-conscious. It was a subconscious thing last night because last night I couldn't find my water. Well, at first I couldn't find my water bottle, so I had a jar.
Yeah.
I love drinking out of mason jars, full of ice and water and everything. But for the podcast, I was like, a straw is going to be easier, more convenient. I should probably just grab a straw. And I was like, I know how Mike feels about straw. I'm not going to bring a straw. I'm going to be that guy. I'll just.
Not only do they not look cool, they're bad for the environment, Dollar.
Yeah, no, glass straws.
Oh, glass straws. Okay.
Glass straws, yeah. This is a glass one, which is always weird. I don't like those. The girls love those. Maya loves those. I'm scared shitless I'm going to chip my tooth one day. It's too hard. You know what I mean? And I'm a clumsy ass person. Like you're not looking, you just ram into it. Because I've hit it a couple times where it just like clinks
Jam
a little.
into your face. Oh,
up your nostril.
oh God. Oh my God.
Okay. Let's see. National Donut Day. Celebrated on the first day in June in the United States. The holiday was established in 1938 by the Salvation Army to honor the women who served donuts to soldiers during World War I.
Yes. It's a good story.
Wait, I'm confused though. The holiday was established in 1938, but wasn't World War I was like 1913 and 14?
Yeah, it was
and World War II was like 1940-ish.
Yeah. This one right here. The famous donut shop in Portland, Oregon called Voodoo Donuts, which we have here in Colorado.
Yeah, I've had them.
Which has gained a cult following for its unusual donut flavors, such as maple bacon and grape ape. I've had the maple bacon one before. That's pretty good.
I've had that too.
Yeah.
Delicious.
But they're funny. The donuts in there are funny. I mean, they have like fucking penis-shaped ones too.
I know.
Like,
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Donuts are not just a modern treat. Archaeologists have discovered evidence of fried dough treats in ancient cultures, including the Greeks and Romans. Donuts go way back, bro.
how do they find that? What do they find? What are the remnants that they found?
That is a great question.
Like, were there not ants back in the Greek and Roman times? Like, I feel like if you fucking drop a donut, that ants are going to get that.
Yeah, I know. You fucks.
Yeah, there's
Come
no
on.
ants.
We need those calories.
There's no ants in Italy? Jeez.
Yeah.
Rome? Come on.
I am pretty open about my how skeptical I am of archaeologists in general.
Yeah.
Because
Dating
when I took primatology, I was an anthropology major for a while in college, and I took I can't remember which course it was. It was like human history, basically. It was like the evolutionary history of mankind or whatever. And the shit that they make these conclusions on, dude, is mind-boggling. The most famous example to me is Gigantopithecus. You see these drawings, these recreations of this fucking massive gorilla, this fucking just giant thing that could just squash you. Its fingers are enormous. It's so huge. Do you know what they have? Part of a jawbone.
Yeah.
They got like a fucking molar. They're like, if his molar's this big, his whole body, like, you're guessing.
Yeah.
You don't know. And it would be fine if they were like, hey, it's totally possible this thing was fucking cool and big and da-da. No problem.
Yeah.
But they say it like, oh, we've solved this mystery in history. And now we know.
From a jaw. From a piece
Shut
of a
up,
jaw.
bro. Shut up.
Like, where's the rest of the body, the arms, the legs?
And it would always piss me off because if you're a modern biologist, they all know the definition of a species, right? Is can it interbreed to produce fertile offspring that can have offspring, right? That's the definition of a species. If they mate and they can't make a baby that can also make a baby, they're not the same species, right? So very specific things you have to know to decide. Because like if you were to find, let's say you found the bones of a Shih Tzu or a fucking Chihuahua, and you found the bones of what kind of dog is
Corso, Cane Corso.
A Cane Corso, those giant ass dogs, right? You saw those. There's no way you would look at the bones and be like, yeah, those are the same species. You'd be like, these are two different species. But they do that all throughout human history. They'll have these very similar skeletons, and like, oh, this one, see how it has a protruded brow ridge here. This is different, and it's almost, this is like 5 inches shorter.
Yeah.
Two different species, bro. You're like, do you know that?
Yeah.
And then you don't even have the whole skeleton.
No.
You have like bits and pieces of skeletons. Yeah. So sorry, that's my rant.
Or I just like how, like, do we know that a stegosaurus looked like a fucking stegosaurus? Like, maybe that was plates for something else.
God, who was? I just saw somebody breaking down how badly they recreate dinosaurs, and we've been fucked our whole lives on what dinosaurs probably look like. And it's so true when you start looking. They were pointing out how little muscle and flesh they give them.
Yeah.
It's like they take those skeletons and they drape skin over it.
They make them look jacked.
Oh, that too. Yeah. And we're totally guessing at color. We're totally guessing at skin texture.
Yeah.
We're guessing at fucking everything. We have no idea what they might have looked like big old bears or something. You know what I mean? Covered in hair. We don't fucking know.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? Like when they talk about like bone structure, right? Like elephants, whales, they have giant bones, right? Obviously, they have those bones because they have to hold their body up, right? Their bone density needs to be very large,
right?
And so that's the only thing that always cracked up when I saw that, like pictures of like Tyrannosaurus and the little tiny arms that it had.
Yeah,
you're just like, bro, like for real, like that's like it just has skinny ass arms like that. Like come on.
Yeah, it had to have looked a little different, right? We don't really know. They get so cocky about it, though. Pretty crazy.
One day, I'm going to crack up when they find like a fucking dragon wing somewhere, and they're going to be like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Yeah, right. People can't accept new stuff very, very, very well at all. The Japanese company Mr. Donut is the largest donut chain in the world with over 1,300 stores in Japan alone. Mr. Donut. I love how Japanese things often have like American names.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's the other fun fact too about
There's a Mr. Donut here in Colorado.
Really? Where's
Mr.
it at?
Donut? It's Donuts. Is it called Mr. Donuts or Donut?
On here is where did it go? Mr. Donut.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So it's just a different one, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I like. We talked about it yesterday, but the mochi donuts.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a type of donut in Japan called the mochi donut, which is made from glutinous rice flour and has a chewy texture. And we definitely have those here. That in Colorado, we definitely have mochi.
Yeah. Yep.
Mochi nut. That's what it's called.
There's one in the tech center. Well, on Arapahoe, not necessarily. I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
Like right off I-25 and Arapahoe Road.
Okay. Yeah. So there's more than one then. But yeah. So, and I was saying yesterday, I thought it was called mochi donut, but it's called mochi nut. I just remembered. They have delicious, delicious food there.
There's only, as of 2017, there was only one Mr. Donut store in the United States.
Oh.
It was in Godfrey, Illinois.
Okay.
So,
Godfrey, Illinois.
Yeah.
Sounds popular.
Because they spell it out Mr. Donut. M-I-S-T-E-R.
Yeah.
And then like other places are M-R. Mr. The abbreviated.
We got into this a little bit yesterday, but the donut shaped everything, donut themed, right? Because you see it on everything. But donut shaped lip balms are a unique and tasty way to keep your lips moisturized with flavors like strawberry sprinkles and chocolate glaze available. Wasn't Callie telling us she had? It was her phone case.
No, there is a phone case.
Oh, there is a phone case that's shaped like a donut. People go crazy for donuts.
Do you use lip balm, Dollar? Do you use chapstick, stuff like that?
Sometimes.
I don't.
I go through phases. I try to. I buy one and I'll keep it with me, and I try to remember to put it on, but I never do.
Yeah.
I just carry it everywhere and then wash it out.
My lips are just naturally moisturized all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if mine are. They're probably the same as my hands. Yeah. We went to breakfast.
I have rusty knuckles. Yeah.
We went to breakfast the other morning for it was like a brunch for work. It was like to kick off leadership week or whatever. And we went to the place, and I remember Dino, the same guy who was sitting next to me, he hands me a lotion. He's like, huh? And I was like, and I looked at my hands, bro. They were fucking bad, bro. They were just ashy, all white on top, and because He's
like, it looks like it hurts, Tony. Here,
yeah, it does sometimes, dude. Look at this. Look at this. This little crack right there.
Oh my God, Dollar. Yeah,
I know it's so bad. Right. Honestly, that's what I use my chapstick more for than anything. Is like when I have like something that's getting to a point where it's gonna crack and bleed or whatever. But the problem is I wash my hands
all the time. Yeah,
all the time. It's an issue. I need to keep one with me, right? Because that would fix it. I don't think I can stop washing my hands as much as I can. I've cut down, but it's still not enough. My poor hands are still like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we are sanitized, bro.
That is hilarious. He just hands you a thing of lotion.
Yeah. Yeah, I started laughing, and then his wife saw it too. She started laughing too. And I put it on my hands, and they felt much better.
So thanks, Dino. Thank you. Let's see here. There is a type of donut in Korea called the Seiwoo Twigum, which is made of shrimp and has a savory flavor.
Sounds terrible. No thanks.
Shrimp donut?
Dude, I'm a hard sell on shrimp in general. Like, I'm not a big shrimp fan.
To me, it's not a donut right now, then. That's like a...
Yeah, what are you doing?
It's not a... It's
like dim sum.
It's like yes.
It's like a little doughy...
Yeah.
It's the idea of the deep fried. I think it makes donuts so good. It also makes them so bad for you.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Donut-themed stationery, including notebooks, pens, and stickers, is a fun way to add some personality to your desk or school supplies.
Yeah.
Donuts.
Donuts everywhere.
Everywhere you look, donuts. You found a lot of donut fun facts this week, bro.
Yeah, there was actually 57 donut fun facts this time. Let's see here. Donuts were mentioned in Washington Irving's famous short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which was first published in 1820.
Wow. They go way back.
They go way back. Well, obviously, to the Roman times, right? Where they had no fucking ants.
Right.
Or no ants were eating those donuts.
Right. Where they can do whatever the fuck they wanted. The world's most expensive donut was created in 2012 by a bakery in the UK. The donut was covered in edible 24-karat gold and cost $1,685. Okay, I have a few questions.
Yeah.
First of all, there we go to the gold shit again. What is the point? That's an expensive ass donut too, because that's like, isn't there? What's the liquor? There's a liquor with gold in it. Gold
Slogger. It doesn't have real.
It doesn't have real gold flakes in it.
No.
Okay, so how can you eat gold though? Is it safe to eat gold?
Yeah, they do it a lot, Dollar. Like,
people eat gold?
Yeah, bro. They put it on like fancy ass burgers. Like I seen this one. I watched a YouTube show called The Burger Show, and they put it on fucking burgers like gold leaf, foil.
I'm just so confused by that. Isn't that because you're told to avoid like heavy metals? Can people eat gold? I'm sure it's going to be yes, but yes, can eat gold if it's pure enough and used in compliance with local regulations. Gold is chemically inert and doesn't break down during digestion, so it's generally safe to consume.
Yeah.
In other words, so you're just shitting that shit down the toilet then?
Yeah, gold doo-doo.
What's that reminding me of?
Gold
diamonds.
Doo-doo. Yeah, it's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
He's like, I sprinkled diamonds on my doo-doo sprinkles. He's like, my doo-doo sparkles. Okay, so Goldschlager dollar. Goldschlager is a Swiss cinnamon schnapps.
Yep.
A liquor with very thin yet visible types of gold in it. The actual amount of gold that has been measured to approximately 13 milligrams in 1 liter bottle. So there is real fucking gold in Goldschlager.
And that probably is what it comes down. The reason they can do that is because of the properties of gold.
Yeah.
They can squeeze down to nothing. You can still see it. It's still there, but it's barely anything. It's not really worth money or anything like that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I find that super weird. It just seems humans are so bizarre, dude. The fact that you would just eat gold knowing full well it's just going to go through your body and into the sewer.
Yeah.
It's the experience of it, I guess. In some cultures, donuts are traditionally eaten on Fat Tuesday or Shrove Tuesday. What's Shrove Tuesday? Which is the day before the start of the Christian season of Lent. In some cultures. I wonder what cultures that is. Fat Tuesday, that's like Southern culture, right? New Orleans?
Yeah.
Is that Fat
Tuesday is, one of the...
What's Shrove Tuesday?
Probably similar to that.
Probably similar. There's a national donut eating contest held each year at Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest in Coney Island, New York.
Okay, here's the world's most expensive burger. I was just looking this up, dollar. Okay, so this world's most expensive burger has Wagyu beef, beluga, caviar, and has gold foil on the outside of the buns. It's like laced with gold foil on the outside of the bun. It costs $6,000 to eat this burger.
$6,000 for a fucking burger?
Yeah. $6,000.
And it just goes through
There are also white truffles on it, Iberico ham, and sauce made with Macallan single malt. So like an aged whiskey. It's called the Golden Boy.
I just can't get over
gold leaf bun.
How weird people are. You have too much money, in my opinion. Don't you think? You got too much money if you're like, I'm going to buy a burger coated in gold and pay $6 fucking grand for a burger. That's wild. Damn, we've been on an In-N-Out kick. We've had too much In-N-Out lately. I had In-N-Out again yesterday. I love the protein, so I'll get 2. No fries.
Don't mess around with like couch guy and get that gout from all that red meat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there is that because I get two double doubles, 2 protein style double doubles.
Yeah,
and then no fries, no soda.
The thing about In-N-Out, it's a misconception, right? Like everyone looks at that line like, "Fuck, that line is long." It goes quick.
It does.
Because it's a simple menu. It's a simple menu.
Yeah,
it's burgers and fries.
And what's cool is they have other stuff that's just not on the menu if you know to ask for it.
Yeah, but still, it's just a burger and fries. That's all it is.
Yeah, In-N-Out's good stuff. I think it's one of the healthier.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes to fast food, anyway. Krispy Kreme is known for its Hot Now sign, which lights up when the store's signature original glazed donuts are fresh out of the oven. That's a whole different kind of donut.
Oh, dude, when it's fresh.
It's a different thing.
Oh, my God.
So good.
I remember when Krispy Kreme first came out here to Colorado, right? Because it wasn't always native. And like all new things, the line was fucking crazy. The first Krispy Kreme was over there off of C470 in Quebec, like by Chuck E. Cheese and all that stuff over there. And I remember waiting in line, bro, for like 45 minutes, fucking teenager. And we were just waiting in there for, and it's in my Caprice Classic, my big old boat of a
what
car.
What year was it?
It's an 82 Caprice Classic, dude. Yeah. 4-door tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember being in that line and then, getting those. Yeah, you have to eat those like right away. Those fresh donuts.
Yeah, you do. There's something about them. They are crispy.
Yeah,
they're like crispy creamy.
Yeah,
They really are. The name is absolutely perfect.
Damn. Now I need a donut.
I know. I don't. I need to fucking chill on donuts for sure.
Well, that's how it was this week. Fucking being in Wichita, just like the food, you know, they cater everything, bring things in. You just like eat so much, and I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, oh my god, I eat too much food. Too much food.
That's such a shitty feeling.
Yes, it
when
is.
You overeat food. Yeah. It's funny how we do it over and over again. That's our human flesh, though, right? It's the taste, it's the satisfaction, the brain chemistry that's happening when you're eating something like that.
It's mine of the, I can't waste it. I got to eat this all. I can't waste this
food.
Oh, sure. I got it.
I realize I have a bad habit of that, too.
Yeah, and I do that to, I did that to Fran the whole time because, like, we were out there, we'd get breakfast, and it was like a buffet, right? You'd go get some breakfast, and I was always getting to go because I went to the gym in the morning, and then obviously go shower real quick, and then I had like 5 minutes before breakfast closed, so I'm like running to like the college breakfast spot,
right?
And I was getting I got a to-go container and just load it up and run back to the room, and then to our classroom that we were in, and I'd eat my breakfast in class. But then Fran started doing the same thing. And he'd load it up, and then he's, I can't eat this garbage, bro. This is garbage. He's the fucking pickiest eater in the world, by the way.
Does that stem from all the bodybuilding and the clean diet or whatever?
I don't know, but he's just fucking picky. And so I always looked at him and was like, he had like a whole full still to-go container of breakfast in there. I was like, fucking wasteful, bro. I'm like, eat your damn food, you know? And then like lunch, same thing. He'd go up to the buffet and like plop a whole bunch on his plate and he'd eat something like, oh, this is god-awful, bro. This is terrible. I can't be eating this garbage. And then he's like, you know, I'm going to get me some like Chick-fil-A or something. I'm like, it's still, I mean, where it's more still fast food, it's still not the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's garbage, bro. I was like, eat your fucking food.
That's so interesting.
So
I didn't know he was like that.
Yeah.
So even if he's hungry, he won't eat and just waits or something?
No, he'll eat, but he just complains about it the whole fucking time.
I wonder if that's related to the bodybuilding, right? When you eat, because he ate bro diet. He said the first time when he first started competing,
tilapia.
Yeah, it was just nothing but tilapia and fucking broccoli, basically, and chicken breast probably.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why. That's interesting that he's so picky like that. We always used to say Jessie was really picky.
Yeah.
But I think we're now realizing she's got some stomach stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it's different, you know?
Who's the pickiest of your kids? Is it Jessie or?
When it comes to eating?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Even before her stomach stuff.
Who doesn't care? Who doesn't care what they eat?
Jaden.
Yeah.
Jaden will eat pretty much anything. Some side, but it's always the choice. Like if mom made like a healthy stir fry, with some chicken and vegetables, and then he's like, "Oh, whose leftover cheeseburger is this?" You know what I mean? Like he'll opt for the cheeseburger every single time, but he'll eat what's in front of him.
That is Couch Guy, huh? He is Couch Guy.
He's so much like Couch Guy, dude. It's really weird. And sometimes I'm like, how the hell is he so much like Couch Guy? And then I realize like Couch Guy lived with us.
Yeah.
For quite a few years right here in this house. It's like weird how time goes by, you forget.
Yeah.
But I remember him being there. And now when I hear him yelling on his video games, it's like I know 100% where that came from. He sounds just like Couch Guy. He sounds like he's going fucking crazy in there. Like, you're not like that with video games?
No.
Do you yell at all?
No.
Yeah. Some people are wild with that shit, bro. Like when they're playing.
The only time I get like upset is like I'll sit there and I'd be like, how the fuck did you get me? And I'll be like, how the fuck? You know?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
It's one of those things like you're like, oh my God, how the fuck did you get me?
Yeah.
And you know, just random like shot. And you're like, oh my God, no fucking way. And like you can hear them laughing on the other end. Like,
no, I hear it's like constant. It's like a constant super high energy. And just constant foul language and like
the fuck, bro, you modded over there. What are you doing, you cheating ass?
The fuck, he's coming, bro. I fucking told you. I told you. And you're just like, holy shit, I'm not going in there, bro.
Yelling at his teammates. Oh my God, dude.
Bro, that's why I don't even want to fucking play anymore. I don't know why. You know, you hear him screaming at each other.
That's like when I play with Couch Guy sometimes. I haven't played with him in a long time. But when I would play with him, oh my God.
He's nuts.
He's funny, like
he
talking and everything like that. And then like, you know, they're cracking up because I'm like, I'm also like, you know, pretty funny when it comes on there and everything. And so
I would watch that. You and Couch Guy playing games together.
That's what we were saying. He's like, dude, we always talked about it. Like, just stream. We should just stream together and see. He goes, yeah.
Hell yeah.
He goes, hell yeah, dude, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Please tell me when.
Yeah.
I think I told you that last time. I will 100% watch it for sure. Yeah, I've never been the big video game guy though. Like my whole life, I was always.
Well, you said you did like the old school Mario
Sure.
and all that stuff.
Yeah. But I remember like in college, at the time it was, when I first started college, it was Super Nintendo was still big. And then.
Damn, dollar, how old are you? I don't think it was when you first started college, bro.
I think so.
No, when you
Like
first started
2000?
college, it's gonna be like you're already in PlayStation 2 era, bro.
Oh,
2000,
really?
yeah.
What year was that one?
You're in 2000. You
I just remember.
Dreamcast and GameCube. All that stuff is already out. Dollar.
Oh, I remember one guy had a GameCube.
Yeah.
I do remember that for sure. But it's never been my thing. Like it was always a weird thing for me. Like, because all my friends, everybody played video games. So I was just never into it. And then you realize, like, at some point, enough time goes by, and you're like, I guess I'm out for life. Like, you know what I mean?
I can't go down.
There's no making up this time. Now. I can't like be, hey
you
guys, I
can't
want to start playing video games with you. It's just like, I'll be that annoying.
The hand-eye
guy.
coordination is not going to be there now, Dollar.
No, of course it won't. Of course it won't. For certain things, I can play guitar.
Yeah.
Shoot a little basketball or something. But when it fucking comes to video games, no. Unless it's Mario or something, I can beat that game every time. But when it comes to like, I just never know what to do. Jaden used to laugh. What was that one that was really big for a while? Halo.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was on PlayStation or Xbox. I can't remember what he had it on. But I remember playing that game and just being a total burden.
Yeah.
And he's like, not that way. Where are you going? Give me your control. Give me your control. Like, fix it. And you're like, why am I stuck in this thing? How do I get my knife? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, just totally lost.
You're all just looking up at the sky, like moving around. And he's like, you got to use both controllers, bro.
Yeah. Be like, what happened? You just got shot.
Yeah.
You're dead. You're dead now.
You're dead. There's no more. There's no coming back from that.
What you still play video games? Yes.
Here and there.
Here
Yeah.
and there?
Not that much.
What's
yeah.
your go-to? What do you like playing now?
I like Call of Duty. Yeah.
And that's not the same as Warzone, right? Those are two
Yeah,
different.
it's the same. It's the same.
Oh,
yeah.
It is because it seems like I remember
Warzone is a game inside Call of Duty. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so is
it's
Call
like
of
a
Duty
match,
almost
yeah.
like a Roblox thing? Like this idea of like mini games inside of it?
Kind of ish. Yeah. It's a
Ish.
franchise. So
See, this is the problem. I don't know shit. I have no idea.
yeah.
They do look fun though, and there's studies on a lot of those games that show that they actually are beneficial to soldiers. Like kids who play those games a lot are better when it comes to reality of like shooting and doing some of the same activities,
Right.
which is wild. Yeah.
They also say that people that play video games are 85% more aware of their surroundings, like driving and stuff like that. So
Because they're used to scanning,
Yeah.
and looking
checking
for
the whole area.
specific
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I did a whole unit a couple years ago with my students on the benefits of video games. They love that.
Yeah. They're like, Mr. Dollar, can we play some video games then?
Yeah.
Like, nah, bro. We were playing actually at the training that I was at. Our group was called Mario Kart because the theme was video games. And they brought in the Nintendo Switch. Somebody brought a Nintendo Switch and we were playing fucking Mario Kart.
Oh, that is one of the greatest games.
Yes, bro. Oh,
of all
still,
time.
yeah.
So freaking fun to play
Yeah.
that game. I love that game.
Going through and somebody has the fucking blue turtle shell and everyone's getting pissed not to be the first person because
Yeah.
the blue turtle seeks out the number one person.
Yeah. Yeah. I love racing games in general.
Yeah.
Even at like, Dave and Buster's or whatever when you go in. I
Yes.
love all the driving
Yeah,
games.
driving games,
Like,
especially on people,
steering.
like motorcycles, get on a motorcycle and like racing people. Yeah.
Because the truth is, I think it would be a blast. I'm too terrified to ever do it, but it would be a blast to either ride a motorcycle, like and race and shit, or have a car that's just like crazy fast and just fucking drive it wild and drift and that shit looks fun as hell.
Yeah.
I'm just too terrified to do it. So a video game is like perfect.
It's the next best thing.
Well, there's so many videos like that, right?
Yeah.
Of dumbasses. I saw some video of a guy, he had a brand new fucking Porsche. Brand new, just driving off the lot. Pulls off the lot, shows off a little, fucking spins out, takes off, drifts a
Lifts
little.
out of control.
And then fucking gets out of control and
God.
T-bones into a car parked on the side of the road. Just you're like, dude, I hope you're fucking rich as hell, bro. 'Cause
Yeah.
Damn.
Drive off that lot like a fool. Come on.
Come on, bro. I love those cars and they're really cool to me, but I would never want one because of that.
Yeah.
You're like, you're just driving around a fucking fortune all the time. You know what I mean? You get a little fender bender. And you're like, ah.
Yeah. No, when I had my chopper, I got to 120 on the chopper.
That's fast.
It's fast, bro. on a straight line. It was going down. It was going down Quincy.
That's
and
terrifying.
Aurora towards the reservoir.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got up to 120 on that thing. But yeah, that's once you're up that on a 2, on a big chopper like that, like, if you're on like a crotch rocket, something like that, 120 is pretty easy. But on a chopper, I'm big. I'm a sail. You start to you're like, oh God, I better slow down now.
Oh God. It just scares me. The consequences are so crazy. But I have seen a surprising number of motorcycle accidents too. I'm giving away my feed right now.
That was last month. Was Motorcycle Safety Month.
Oh, last month was?
May. Yeah.
But I'm surprised how many terrible accidents guys get up and walk away from.
Oh yeah.
You're just like,
as long as you're wearing gear, that's the thing.
That's
Helmet,
the big thing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get skinned up beyond. I know your tattoo is your tattoo still kind of
yeah,
fucked
it's all
up?
jacked up. Yeah, my arms all.
Can I see it real quick? I'm
road
just
rash.
curious. Oh yeah, there's a little spot missing.
Yep.
It's not that bad.
Nah.
No, not.
My forearm is the worst of the blunt of that.
Oh yeah.
That's where I had the nerve damage. I can't feel any of it.
You can't feel anything on your elbow?
Nah.
Get that shit tatted, bro.
It's scar tissue. It's a little harder to tattoo.
Yeah, well, because that's the deal with my tattoo is I don't want to get this sleeve up, but right here on the elbow, there's like a big blank spot, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm dreading it, but man, if I had been in a motorcycle accident and fucking couldn't feel my elbow.
I think it's harder to tattoo scar tissue.
Yeah, it is, right?
So.
It doesn't like hold the ink or something
Yeah.
that comes out of it
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, that makes sense. You getting any tattoos anytime soon?
I wish.
No, gonna wait a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm taking a break for a while too. Yeah.
Like you said, you can only celebrate for so long.
Yeah, every year. Every year. Yeah, for being a teacher, I've earned it. Another tattoo. Another tattoo. Another tattoo. Like coming up on retirement.
Post Malone, yeah.
Teardrops and shit. Fucking flower on my forehead.
Looking like a loony.
Jaden really doesn't want me to do because I did all black and white on my right, and I want to do all color on my left.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, Jaden's really opposed to it. He was
Why?
throwing a fit over it yesterday. He thinks I should do black and white. He's like, so much better. Looks old school.
Old school.
Because it's true. They become color tab.
Old school is the green ink. Is the green ink.
Yeah, that's true. Fades into that fucking dark Statue of Liberty color. That's the worst.
The old copper color, copper penny.
Yeah, that copper turquoise. Yeah, the one thing I am glad for is that I waited to get tattoos till I got a little older.
Yeah,
because I've seen some. and
some regrets.
Yeah, and based on my skin and how pale I am and shit, like we don't age well, bro. Like, I age like what's his name? What's that guy's name from Breaking Bad? That actor. I always joke about it. I'm like, he's still a handsome devil, but good lord, that guy looks old as fuck. He's like so much older than he is. So I assume that if I'd gotten tattoos when I was like 18 or something like that, I feel like they would look so bad.
I saw a fucking meme that said it was like happy birthday to Morgan Freeman, happy 87th birthday to Morgan Freeman, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of the comments underneath it was this motherfucker been 87 since I was a kid.
It does seem like it.
Yeah, because I'm like, yeah, how old is Morgan Freeman, bro? Like,
I know. He's still 87.
He's still 87.
Have you seen the conspiracy theory that says that he's Jimi Hendrix?
Yeah, with all the freckles and stuff like that. And the age wise. Yeah.
The one that really blows my mind, have you seen the Elvis one?
Yeah.
What's that dude's name? He's a pastor or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
That one's wild. The Morgan Freeman, I'm like, no, bro, that ain't Jimi Hendrix, you fools. But when you look at that pastor, he's got all the same marks. He has the same fucked up pinky, everything. And then not to mention that according to a lot of people, like the people close in his life all know it's Elvis.
Yeah.
Like to them, it's not even a mystery. They're just like, yeah, it's just Elvis. It'd actually be kind of nice if he didn't die on a toilet, fucking drugged out. It'd be kind of cool if he was actually still out there. And then he has music. That was what blew my mind is he literally releases music. It's on Spotify. And when you listen to that shit, you're like, that's Elvis.
That's Elvis.
That's fucking old Elvis.
Come on, bro.
Bro, there's no way that's not. But it's just so funny because I remember seeing one of his songs that had 8,000 plays or something. And you're like, damn, must be a humble guy to be able to go from being the biggest star in the world to having, it had some crazy number of followers. It was 111 followers or something. I'm like, what the fuck? People just don't know that's Elvis, bro.
Yeah, now everybody knows.
I was never a big Elvis fan. You like Elvis music?
I like Elvis music, yeah.
Yeah, some of it's pretty good. It's all right.
Yeah. I have Elvis, the Elvis channel programmed in my Jeep.
Oh, do you?
Elvis,
Oh,
I'm
so
a
you
serious-
definitely like Elvis.
I like him, yeah.
You know, it'd be fun. Maybe we should have Lori on sometime she has that group Shelvis.
Shelvis.
You never heard of them?
No.
They're really, they used to be really good friends with Fresh.
Okay.
So we could have them on sometime, but it's Elvis impersonation.
Oh, what?
Yeah, she's been doing it. Dude, she's well known.
Do they dress up for it and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Come on, dog.
Yeah, she does it all over the place. Been doing it for fucking 15 years or something crazy. Really good at it. Another episode in the bag. It's the lost episode.
Yes.
Next week, we'll be live again.
Yeah.
And
welcoming you back from the Philippines.
Yeah, I've done my time in a Filipino jail. I'll be back here ready to rock for episode whatever number we're on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so be on the lookout. Again, if you want to be on those fun facts, let us know. MikeandTonyShow.com. And with that dollar, it is a wrap. Cheers.